रहा है, क्या कहेंगे?
Well, I'm very happy to be here at this Sardar Patel University, um, which has been promoted, not only promoted, but it was conceived by the great son of this soil of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. I'll be very happy to interact with the students and staff of this university. I'm very happy also that literature is being given importance in the curriculum of this university. I'm very happy to see also the staff of this university, at the same time the Vice Chancellor promoting that new ideas and promoting literature in the university. I'm very happy to be here.
श्रेणी के यह द्वितीय सर्ग में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। आज इस व्याख्यान श्रेणी के द्वितीय सर्ग में कोंकणी भाषा गोवा के वरिष्ठ साहित्यकार श्री दामोदर मौजो सर हमारे बीच उपस्थित है। गुजरात और सरदार पटेल यूनिवर्सिटी की ओर से मैं स्नातकोत्तर गुजराती विभाग का रिसर्च स्कॉलर दिव्यराज सिंह यादव, श्री दामोदर मौजो सर और श्री शैला मैडम का हृदय से स्वागत करता हूँ। गुजरात आणि सरदार पटेल विद्यापीठांतर्या तुमका दोंगाकाई उमेदीने येऊन आहे कि जिन्होंने हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में पद्मश्री व्याख्यान श्रेणी के सकारात्मक परिणामों को देखते हुए यह भारतीय ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कृत सर्जक व्याख्यान श्रेणी प्रारंभ करने का संकल्प किया। साथ ही हम स्वागत करते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी के रजिस्ट्रार माननीय भाईलाल भाई पटेल सर का। अपना अमूल्य समय देकर इस व्याख्यान श्रेणी में उपस्थित होने वाले सभी महानुभावों, विविध विभाग के अध्यक्ष श्री एवं अध्यापकगण और साहित्य में अभिरुचि रखने वाले सभी छात्र छात्राओं का हम हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। कार्यक्रम के शुभारंभ से पूर्व हम एक वीडियो के माध्यम से श्री दामोदर मौजो सर के जीवन और साहित्य सृजन का संक्षिप्त में परिचय प्राप्त करते हैं। इस वीडियो में हमने श्री इंद्रनील चक्रवर्ती जी के द्वारा साहित्य अकादमी के लिए दिग्दर्शित वीडियो के कुछ अंश भी लिए।
अपना एक कल्चर है ये हमारे देश में, जबकि भारतीय संस्कृति की ये इंडियन और लैटिन कल्चर का एनकाउंटर भी है, समन्वय भी है, और इस मुठभेड़ और समन्वय का एक सुरेख संगम में दिखाई देता है।
I do think that what is interesting and important about Goa is exactly this, that it's the Goans. They're very cosmopolitan. They're very interested in the world. They have a very rich history, and a rich history which comes from connections with many different places. And I think we see
a predominantly Catholic environment, and he feels that his family never went into exile during the hard times of conversion, and he has proof.
My family belonged to this village since nearly 500 years, maybe more.
मंच पर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने हेतु पधारने का निवेदन करता हूं। हम यह ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कृत सर्जक व्याख्यान श्रेणी का आरंभ यूनिवर्सिटी गीत के साथ करते हैं। दिया है, उनका वह ज्ञान सूर्य की तरह परम तत्व परमात्मा को प्रकाशित कर देता है। ज्ञान व्यक्ति का सबसे आकर्षक गुण है। मनुस्मृति में कहा गया है कि सर्व ज्ञानमयो ही सब, अर्थात सब कुछ ज्ञानमय है। ज्ञान के यह गुण को केंद्र में रखकर ही हमारे राष्ट्र में ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कार का आरंभ हुआ। भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा, भारतीय साहित्य, कला और सर्जकों से आज सच्चा विद्वता के सीधे परिचायक है भगवान अग्निदेव यानी कि दीप ज्योति। यह विचार, यह ज्ञान हमारे हृदय में स्थिर हो, इसीलिए मैं मंचस्थ महानुभावों को दीप प्रागट्य के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ।
सब्जेक्ट व्याख्यानमाला के द्वितीय सर्ग में हमारे बीच कोंकणी भाषा के वरिष्ठ साहित्यकार श्री दामोदर मौजो जी उपस्थित है। मैं उनका सरदार पटेल विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से, परिवार की ओर से हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। उनके साथ उनकी सहधर्मचारी भी उपस्थित है, उनका भी मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। इस सभागार में गुजराती के वरिष्ठ साहित्यकार सीतांशु भाई यशस चंद्र जी भी उपस्थित है। मैं सर आपका भी स्वागत करता हूँ। इस सभागार में गणमान्य हमारे वरिष्ठ साहित्यकार अन्य भी है, उनका भी स्वागत करता हूँ। सरदार पटेल विश्वविद्यालय के अध्यक्ष श्री अध्यापक मित्र एवं मेरी हृदय के धड़कन युक्त हमारे सब जो छात्र छात्राएं हैं, उनका भी मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। दूसरा विशेषता कहते हुए सर का हमें लेक्चर सुनना है, इसलिए सभी का मैं पुनः एक बार हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ, उनका आभार करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर निरंजन भाई पटेल सर को निवेदन करता हूँ कि वे पुस्तक और स्टॉल से श्री दामोदर मौजो सर का स्वागत करें। थैंक यू सर। मौजू में यहाँ उपस्थित है, उनका पुष्प गुच्छ से स्वागत के लिए मैं हमारे रजिस्ट्रार माननीय डॉक्टर भाईलाल भाई पटेल सर को निवेदन करता हूँ। सर का हम स्वागत करते हैं। श्री मणिलाल पटेल सर का हम हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। श्री जयेंद्र शेखड़ीवाला सर का हम हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं। श्री भगीरथ ब्रह्मभट्ट सर का हम स्वागत करते हैं। महाराजा सयाजीराव यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर सचिन केलकर सर का हम स्वागत करते हैं। माध्यम से अपने जीवन और अपनी साहित्य यात्रा के बारे में हमें अवगत करने की कृपा करें।
आदरणीय रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ दिस यूनिवर्सिटी भाईलाल भाई पटेल, पिछले 1 महीने से मेरे पीछे पड़ी हूँ कह सकता हूँ, प्राध्यापक राजेश्वरी जी, सभागृह में उपस्थित सभी साहित्यकार मित्रों और खास करके मेरे जिगरी साहित्यकार मित्र सीतांशु जी जो यहाँ उपस्थित खास मेरे लिए आए हैं, समझता हूँ मैं, आई टेक प्राइड इन इट, एंड मेरे नॉट सो यंग साहित्यकार मित्र सचिन केतकर जो बड़ौदा से यहाँ पधारे हैं। इस यूनिवर्सिटी के अध्यापकगण तथा विद्यार्थीगण, मेरे मित्रों, मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि मैं आज आपके बीच में आया हूँ। गुजरात तो इतना दूर नहीं है कि गोवा से, फिर भी पिछले शायद 10 सालों में पहली बार, इससे पहले आया हूँ लेकिन 10 सालों में पहली बार गुजरात की भूमि पर आया हूँ। बहुत खुशी महसूस होती है। मैं कोशिश करूँगा बोलने की, मुझे जो गुजराती नहीं आती ऐसा नहीं, गुजराती મને થોડું આવડે છે। મારા શિક્ષણ મુંબઈમાં થયા, પોદાર કોલેજમાં, જ્યાં ઘણે સારે વિદ્યાર્થી ગુજરાતમાંથી આતે थे, તો આની સાથે વાતે કરते करते થોડું ગુજરાતી આવડે છે, लेकिन એટલી નથી कि मैं यहाँ હું ગુજરાતીમાં વાતે ગુજરાતીમાં વ્યાખ્યાન આપી શકું। That way I know many other languages, few other languages which are of no use to me here. मी मराठीमध्ये बोलू शकतो, शाळेत आमच्यामध्ये सचिन केतकर आहेत, त्यांना समजेल, पण सगळ्यांनाच समजेल असं नाही। तेव्हा तिथं इथं येऊन गुजरातच्या भूमीवर येऊन मराठी बोलण्यात काही आक्षेप नाही। माझी मातृभाषा, माय मदर टंग इज कोंकणी. हांव कोंकणींतल्यान उलोवंक येता म्हज्यान. कोंकणींतल्यान उलयल्यार सहजपणान चड बरें उलोवंक येता. पूण तुमचें कांय समजूच ना, तुमचे माथा वयल्यान म्हटलें तेन्ना कोंकणींतल्यान उलोवपाक कांय अर्थ ना. My primary education was in Portuguese. So eu também posso falar em português, mas português não é a língua você vai perceber. Besides, não tenho prática por causa disto, eu não vou falar em português também. Now I know, of course, two languages which are known to me, in which I can express. एक तो हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन हिंदी में मैं संवाद कर सकता हूँ, संभाषण कर सकता हूँ, भाषण नहीं कर सकता हूँ. चलिए कि थोड़ी सी दिक्कत है, फिर भी कोशिश करूँगा क्योंकि easily I can reach out to you. And now coming to English back, English is a language which is not mine nor yours. But we have accepted English as a language of communication, and therefore I try to communicate with you in both these languages as far as possible in Hindi and English. And I hope आप समझ लेंगे. मित्रों, जैसे कि the very famous poet and thinker Rumi, he said, वो कहते थे, जो शब्द दिल से निकलते हैं वो आसानी से दिल तक पहुंचते हैं. So I assure you that I will try to speak from the bottom of my heart and reach out to you. In the beginning, I would like to speak about this strong bondage that Goa, the territory of Goa and territory of Gujarat has, or rather Konkani and Gujarati has. So I would like to bring to the fore here. You have probably heard of George Abraham Grierson, who conducted the first ever linguistic survey of India. And he said, in his essays, he said, and he believed it, he said, when the Indo-Aryan languages branched off from Maharashtrian Prakrit, there was a cluster of 3 languages which was very close to one another. And the 3 were Marathi, Gujarati and Konkani. So I am very happy that all 3 languages stand together in his research, and I am very proud of it also for having been clubbed together. There are many aspects I should talk about the strong bond between Gujarat and Goa, or Gujarati and Konkani. One is political one. You all know Daman and Diu were part of the Portuguese territory. We shared, the part of Gujarat, shared the colonial past of ours. Daman, Diu and Goa. We always call it Goa, Daman, Diu. Not Daman also. Goa, Daman and Diu were part of what they called it as India Portuguese. But that is the past. Now, that is this colonial link that we share together. That's why I brought it up, this topic here. The next is, I'm very proud of this factor. You see, 700 years back, आपने शायद नाम जानते ही होंगे आप, संत नामदेव का नाम आपने सुना है. जो संत था और बहुत देश भर वो घुमा है, अपनी भ्रमण की और बहुभाषिकता के लिए वो जाने जाते हैं रादर. तो उन्होंने एक रचना की है. वो रचना बहुत प्रसिद्ध भी है और मेरे लिए बहुत मायने रखती है. तो वो कहते थे, उसने वो रचना में कहते हैं, वो जब विषय क्या है, तो जब 5 गोपियाँ जो स्नान करने के लिए तालाब में उतरते हैं, अपने कपड़े नदी के किनारे या पानी के किनारे रखकर, उस कपड़े उनके वस्त्र उपवस्त्र उठाकर श्री कृष्ण भाग जाते हैं, पेड़ पर जाकर बैठते हैं. और बाद में जब गोपियाँ नहाकर बाहर आती हैं तो उन्होंने देखते हैं अपने कपड़े तो गायब हो गए हैं. उनके ध्यान में आती है ये मस्करी है श्री कृष्ण जी की, तो प्रार्थना करते हैं श्री कृष्ण से कि अपने कपड़े वापस करें. तो ये 5 गोपियाँ 5 भाषाएं बोलती हैं, इस प्रातिनिधिक भाषाएं हैं. और 5 भाषाओं में से एक है कानड़ी, दूसरी मुसलमानी, तीसरी मराठी, चौथी है कोंकणी और 5वीं है गुजराती। और ये अभंग जो है उसको गौरन भी कहते हैं। तो वो मैं आपको थोड़ा सा कोंकणी में जो उन्होंने लिखा है तथा उन्होंने ऑल्सो गुजराती में जो लिखा है वही मैं आपको पढ़कर सुनाता हूँ। बहुत अच्छा लगता है मुझे ये पढ़कर। ये 5 गोपियाँ अपनी अपनी 5 भाषाओं में इस प्रकार बोलती हैं। पहली बारी कन्नड़ गोपी की है, तो दूसरी हिंदुस्तानी में बोलती है, जो मुसलमानी है वो हिंदुस्तानी। वो तब उर्दू या हिंदी ऐसा कोई नहीं डिफरेंस करते थे, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं था, वो हिंदुस्तानी थी तो हिंदुस्तानी में बोलती है। तीसरी बारी मराठी की है और चौथी फिर कोंकणी की। वो कोंकणी की बोलती है, पावगा दातारा तू धंधा तो झिलो माका फडको दी मी हेवान मेलो घे मातलो कोई तो आणि देवा पाया पडलो। दिस इज द कोंकणी वर्स। एंड देन इसके बाद गुजराती गोपी की बारी आती है। वो कहती है, जो रे माधव जी मैं शरण थई तनका काके पी बाप दयालु तू ही मारी साड़ी आपो हाथनी ले कंकड़ी। तो अच्छा लगता है ऐसा देखकर कि when Sant Namdev 700 years back clubbed all these languages together. Particularly I am talking about Gujarati and Konkani, also Marathi. They clubbed together to bring out this rachana. There are many points, but I would now come to the present day when I am very proud that I have told the association very many Gujarati writers, some legendary ones. I remember in 1980 when the legendary poet Uma Shankar Joshi, he visited Goa. It was my duty to go and receive him at the airport. I took my car, my junk car, long time back. It was a very old car, and there was a taxi waiting for Uma Shankar ji to take him to the capital of Goa, Panji. So when I went there with Ravindra Kerekar ji ने मुझे इंट्रोड्यूस किया और कहा कि रिसीव करने में फुल भेंट किए और उनको टैक्सी के लिए मैं जा रहा था। तो उन्होंने कहा आपकी गाड़ी कहाँ है? मैंने कहा यही है। तो बोले हम आपके साथ जाएंगे। और बिलीव मी, उमा शंकर जोशी was so polite, so humble. He preferred to give up the taxi and come with me in my car and sat in front of me when I was driving the vehicle with Ravindra Kerekar taking the back seat. What a proud moment it was. Of course, I have to mention one more link. One of my novels, rather the first novel, Karmili, has been translated into Gujarati long time back. And the Gujarati translation went on. It was very good translation, and that is why it went on to bag the best translation award of Gujarati at the Sahitya Academy. The translation was done by Professor Darshana Dholakia. So these are the few things that I would like to share with you about Konkani and Gujarati bonds. Then I have of course met many others. You know, I have met Acharya Kaka Saheb Kalekar. Many know him as a Marathi writer, but one who has contributed richly to Gujarati literature. These are the people who inculcated some values in me. We have poet Rakhi Bab Borkar, B.B. Borkar, Babhar Borkar, आपने सुना होगा। बहुत बड़े कवि हैं जिन्होंने बहुत सारा साहित्य कविता मराठी को दे दिए हैं। He has enriched Marathi literature, but he never forgot that he is a Konkani person. So he had उनकी निष्ठा कोंकणी के प्रति थी, लेकिन उनकी सेवा उन्होंने मराठी को दी। This is what we learned from Acharya Kaka Saheb Kalekar or our poet Borkar. Of course, of late I have come across many legendary writers. We have Sitaushu ji sitting here, whom I have been knowing for last 25 years, and it's a wonderful association with him. It is always a pride moments when I was working with him and meeting him at the literary events. And of course, my young writer who writes in Marathi, He's a famous critic himself, is a poet. Sometimes I wonder why some people are, bracketed as a critic when he himself has so much to give to poetry. But it is unfortunate also, once you get the brand that you are a critic, people get to you only to get some works, to get the criticism of some works. But then he himself is a poet, and I know there are many whom I know and whom I don't know, who are present here, who have contributed richly and who are contributing richly to Gujarati literature. With this, I would consider this is a tribute from me to Gujarati literature. And then, after this introductory talking about Gujarati and Konkani poem, I turn to my lecture. I know I have spent quite a lot of time. I don't know the time I have, but I try to be brief as possible. Very difficult to speak about myself. Then I asked Rajeshwari ji, what do you expect me to speak about? And then she said, your journey as a writer. Well, the journey, there are many stations on this journey, but I'll try to be brief as possible. At the start, at the beginning, I would like to give a statutory warning to all of you. जैसे कि मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन आपको दिया गया है, मेरा परिचय दिया गया है, मैं लेखक हूँ, मैं वक्ता नहीं हूँ. I am not an orator. Don't expect any profound lecture from me. I would like to share with you my views and if possible interact with you. I would rather like to, मुझे हमेशा संभाषण अच्छा लगता है, भाषण से अच्छा लगता है संभाषण. लेकिन ये लेक्चर सीरीज है तो मजबूरी है आयोजकों की और मेरी भी. So I will try to be talking to you in other format. Now that I speak about my literary journey, my friends, to become a writer, I had to battle on two different fronts. भारत में ऐसे खूब थोड़े लोग होंगे, थोड़े साहित्यकार होंगे जिन्हें दो फ्रंट पर संघर्ष करना पड़ा है. तो for me it was mandatory, it was required, it was demand of that time. That is why. So literary front का literary front का मतलब है साहित्य कारण, language front I am talking about भाषा कारण, and all this. It was very difficult for me to balance these two. That's because of the political impediments, the Rajkaran. So Rajkaran और भाषा कारण इसके स्टूडी पे बड़ी चलाया गया है साहित्य का, कोंकणी के बारे में. अनफॉर्चुनेट है बट इट इज द ट्रूथ. अगर जब आप कोंकणी ने जो संघर्ष किया है इसके बारे में सुनेंगे तो अगर मैं दिल से बोलने लगा तो आपके आंखों में आंसू आ जाएंगे. फिर भी I try to be as brief as possible. But before I talk about my literature, let me brief you about the history of Goa and also of Konkani. I hope I am not going to bore you with something that I love the most. Goa is the smallest state of this Union of India. आप जानते हैं गोवा सबसे छोटी टेरिटरी, छोटा राज्य है. ये छोटा राज्य क्यों है? जब गुजरात is having such a big territory and I don't know exactly the population, probably about 10 crores, around 10 crores. Maharashtra has 13 crores and a big state, but Goa is the smallest state. It is not a small state. It is actually the state is small because of the political boundary, because of the geographical, not because of the geographical boundary. Geographically, Konkani area is vast, but unfortunately we have suffered at the hands of our past, our history. As a result, आज के दिन जो गोवा दिखता है वो छोटा दिखता है. आपने सुना होगा Britishers have ruled over India for 150 years. आप जानते हैं गोवा पे पुर्तगालियों ने कितने साल यहाँ राज किया? They came to Goa in 1510 and continued to rule over Goa for 450 years until 1961, when India had to liberate Goa by sending the army in Goa to liberate us. It was late, but it is never too late, so we are happy with it. But you should understand what would be the suffering of the people for to be ruled by foreign rulers for 450 years. Do you know that the Portuguese destroyed the temples and the literature of Goa? Literature means, you can imagine 500 years back, the literature meant religious literature, the devotional literature, or you can call it Bhakti Sahitya. It was unfortunate that we had hardly saints or hardly writers who produced Bhakti Sahitya. Bhakti Sahitya का अभाव था गोवा में, तो लोगों ने, आपने जैसे पहले सुना कि महाराष्ट्री प्राकृत से दो भाषाएं अलग पड़ी, कोंकणी और मराठी, तो मराठी का साहित्य स्वीकार कर तुकाराम महाराज जितना पॉपुलर महाराष्ट्र में है उतना ही पॉपुलर गोवा में है। क्यों है? क्योंकि लोगों ने इस भाषा को भी अपनाई, अपनी मानी, in spite of the atrocities that we did out to our language. तो पुर्तगालियों ने जब temples destroy किए, because they never liked this pagan worship, वो मूर्ति पूजा के विरोध में थे, इसलिए उन्होंने टेम्पल्स तो डिमोलिश किए। टेम्पल के साथ उस समय 500 साल पहले जो साहित्य रचा जाता था वो भक्ति साहित्य का या डिवोशनल सॉन्ग्स थे, वो they were kept preserved in the precincts of temples. So with the temples, all the literature was demolished, it was lost to us. Have you heard of the exodus that happened to Goans? Do you know 500 साल पहले जब धर्मांतर शुरू हो गया तो गोवा के लोग भाग के निकल पड़े इन बिग नंबर्स, हजारों की संख्या में वो गोवा से भागकर धर्मांतर के डर से भागकर कर्नाटक में, केरला में, महाराष्ट्र में जाकर स्थायी हो गए। ये हमारी हिस्ट्री है। जो गोवा से भाग गए वो कर्नाटक, कोस्टल कर्नाटक में स्थायी हो गए। वहाँ उन्होंने वहाँ गए लेकिन अपनी भाषा नहीं छोड़ी। आप जानते हैं 500 साल पहले जब गोवा से केरला लोग गए थे वो आज भी कोंकणी बोलते हैं। हालांकि बीच में उन्होंने ये काम किया है, पहले 2 साल तक वो घर में कोंकणी बोलने लगे, लिखते थे तो देवनागरी में लिखते थे जो ओरिजिनल स्क्रिप्ट ऑफ कोंकणी थी। लेकिन वहाँ जाने के बाद स्कूल में गए, 2 साल बाद में जब स्कूल उभर कर आए तो स्कूल में गए मलयालम सीखने लगे, मलयालम लिपि सीखी और मलयालम लिपि में कोंकणी लिखने लगे। वही बात कर्नाटक में जो गए वो कन्नड़ स्कूल में गए बाद में और कन्नड़ लिपि उन्होंने आत्मसात की और कन्नड़ लिपि अडॉप्टेड टू कोंकणी टू राइट देयर लैंग्वेज और लिटरेचर। सो दैट वाज द हिस्ट्री वी हैव सीन। ये तो पहले की बात हुई। जब कन्वर्जन हो गए तो जो हिंदू थे दे ओवरनाइट दे बिकेम क्रिश्चियंस। लेकिन ऐसे एक दिन में ऐसा धर्मांतर नहीं होता है। धर्म क्या ऐसी कपड़ा नहीं है बाहर से लाकर वो पहना कि आप ईसाई बन गए। तो इन लोग, ये जो लोग धर्मांतर हो गया था, पॉसिबल धर्मांतर था, तो वो घर में अपनी वही पूजा करते थे जैसे पहले करते थे, छिप कर करते थे। एक पाबंदी थी फिर भी वो पूजा करते थे। वो नारियल को भगवान के रूप में देखते थे। तो और जो गायन करते थे वो भले ही वो ईसाइयों की गायन पढ़ते थे, सीखते थे, लेकिन घर में जाकर जो फोकलोर था उनका वो ओरिजिनल कोंकणी था। तो वो घर में कोंकणी में बोलते थे, कोंकणी में प्रार्थना करते थे, तो इनको अच्छा नहीं लगता था। तो उन्होंने 1684 में एक कानून लाया नहीं की होगी. So this is the fate of Konkani, which we suffered at the hands of geography, at the hands of history. Why history? Because of this colonial history. But again, that we created geography because of this history. जो गोवा के लोग यानी कोंकणी स्पीकिंग कम्युनिटीज went down and settled in Karnataka, Kerala and Maharashtra. So they took their language with them. And even after 500 years today we find the people in Karnataka speaking Konkani, people in Kerala, they speak Konkani. So this is the geography of Konkani, created by the history of Konkani. कुछ अच्छी बातें भी हुई हैं पुर्तगालियों के कारण. आप जानते हैं in the entire Asia, Goa was the first to get the printing press. It was in 1556 that the first printing press of India, not only India, of the entire Asia, came to Goa. And as a result, we can boast today that the first Konkani book was first book to get published or printed in India was that of Konkani. The first grammar that was written by the missionaries. Of course, we had our own grammar or grammatic structures, but they adopted the European or rather Western grammar methods to Konkani and produced the first book of grammar in Konkani. So we are fortunate that we have many firsts, but not so fortunate to have to carry on the legacy of our literature. Initially, when the Jesuits came to Goa and started the conversions, they knew they have to reach out to the masses. So they picked up the language. All the missionaries were from Europe, whether English or French, Germans and Portuguese. But they picked up the language. They studied the language, not only to speak but also to write. And they wrote the first few books in Konkani. And they wanted to get them published and printed in our printing press, the first printing press that came to Goa. Unfortunately, the type that came along with the printing press was the Roman alphabet, the Latin alphabet. So they requested the government to get the prints, typo, in Konkani from the experts. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough funds to get them done, and they were advised to follow whatever they have. So they adopted Roman script to Konkani to write the Konkani verses and Konkani literature. That is how Konkani began to be written in Roman script in Goa and elsewhere. So all the first few books that came out were written originally in Devanagari. Unfortunately, not all are available. Very few are kept in some distant places like England and Portugal. The only literature, the only writer whom we know who wrote in the end of 15th century and beginning of 16th century is Krishnadas Sharma, who wrote both in Konkani and Marathi. But I am also proud of one factor. Whatever he wrote in Marathi was Krishna Charitammanas was in verses. It was all in Padya. But what he wrote about the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata in Konkani was in Gadya, prose. So that was the time, 500 years back, there was no tradition of writing anything in prose. Whatever literature, whatever written was always in verses. But that was the time when he wrote in prose Konkani to reach out to the masses. And unfortunately, we are not aware of his contribution also. Only recently we came to know when our scholars went to Portugal and they found somewhere in the Braga, the central library of Portugal, where they found these strange papers written in the Roman script but Konkani language. So that was brought in to Goa. It was after the liberation of Goa. So these are the few things which I have to bring to your notice. It's a painful story, a painful history, which created the geography of Konkani speakers as I told you. However, I would rather speak to you about writings in Konkani. Do you know the Konkani people? When I talk to you about Konkani, I have to include people the speech community, Konkani speech community was spread over the different states. But when I talk about Goa, I have to restrict to Goa only, Goa region. But if I talk about Konkani, I have to tell you talk about the Konkani literature that was produced outside Goa. Have you heard of course everybody knows Girish Karnad or many writers. I don't want to name them, but of course you must have heard of Shyam Benegal, who is a filmmaker. All these big names are basically Konkani people. Girish Karnad always speaks Konkani at home. He spoke Konkani until he was living. But then, what I mean to say is, these people did not contribute to Konkani because they stayed and brought up in Karnataka. Girish Karnad or many others, they contributed to Kannada literature. I am of course proud of that. Just like, as I said, Babur Borkar, great poet, he contributed to Marathi literature. So we are proud of this past. But it is also our bad luck that they could not write in and produce some literature in Konkani. Well, it is never too late to return to our roots. So, we can forget the past. It was really fearsome, but then we had some legendary writers who came up later, and we realized that Konkani has suffered at the hands of the colonial rule. By the way, the Portuguese continued to keep the ban decree that under the law Konkani was banned. But later on, after Portugal became प्रजासत्ताक रिपब्लिक बनी, तो बाद में उन्होंने अपना स्टैंड चेंज किया. But it was too late. We had one Portuguese officer, Orientalist, his name was Cunha Rivara, and he was surprised that Goa had such a rich language which everybody speaks, but there is no literature, there are no schools, and there is no books available. So he wrote an essay, which is become very famous essay, and he also tried to bring up, or rather revive the language. And he also offered to open schools, but then it was so late that all these Christians who were forced to learn Portuguese, they said, we don't want Konkani, we can do away with the language, it is enough that it is on our tongue, but we don't want to go for learning the language again. So they prefer to stick to Portuguese. And those Hindus who over the time switched over to Marathi schools, they also said, no, we don't want to go back to our roots, we will continue with Marathi. And that is how Cunha Rivara's attempts were failed. But there were some people who picked up the thread and went into the details. And one of them was Shunengoy Baban, Mr. Valavlikar, who was a genius. He stayed in Mumbai. Can you imagine during those days, in 1920s, when he was in Mumbai, he was drawing 4-figure salary. Today you will not believe it, but during those days, when the salary was 10 rupees and 15 rupees to the teachers and others, he was drawing 4-figure salary. He was very intelligent, brilliant mind. And he contributed, then he realized that we are losing our language, our culture. So he tried to revive the language. He went deeper to study the structure, the grammatical structure of Konkani. He went further to go to the roots of Konkani people. He went back to the Buddhist time to find out our history, because nobody had written any history of Goa. But and another thing, remember, Goa was never ruled by any Goan until Goa was liberated, until the popular government came to power through elections. Until then, we always were ruled by Kadambas, who were Kannadigas. We were ruled by 700 years back, 13th century, we were ruled by Yadavas from Devagiri. They were Marathi speaking. So every time a ruler came, he imposed his language on Goa. That is why probably Marathi was spoken at the for the official purposes during Yadavas. Again, during Kadambas, we were speaking or dealing with the officials in Kannada. That time, of course, Kannada was different because Hale Kannada. Still, we find some scriptures written in those. But Konkani was alive. I don't want to go into the details of that because it will take a longer time. But it is unfortunate that when India was, all that 1961 Goa was liberated. And that was the time when India had already become independent, 1947. But for the next 15 years, 14 and a half years, Goa remained a colony, Portuguese colony. It continued. And then Goa was liberated. Most of the Goans were not familiar with the democratic setup. I remember those days because I was privy to it. I was just 16 or 17 when Goa was liberated. I was privy to what happened during those days. I was very friendly with the Portuguese officials. They were not bad people. Today, we always speak about India so patriotically and we think that all the people in Pakistan are anti-Indians or they are bad people. It is not so now. See, people are all the same, whether Portuguese or Goans. We were not, only political reason was there. We could not say Viva India. We could not say Jai Hind. That was the political aspect. Otherwise, people were happy. But we, including me, we were against the colonial rule. We were not against the Portuguese. We were against the colonial rule. That is why I always say good things about good things of the past, but what was bad was certainly it was bad. So when Goa was liberated, Konkani was not included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution.